Wow, guys, good morning. And sorry, I'm a little bit late. The timing off is a little bit off in Germany. I'm a few minutes behind the regular scheduling time, so I have to set an alarm clock, and I forgot to set one. I apologize to everyone. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for joining me today. And I know it's not a great day. It was a terrible result last night. It was a tough performance to watch, to take. Where do we go from here, guys? Where do we go from here? And as I take this time, I would like you all to just, like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and get ready because I'm going to present to you the news intro. I'm going to give you a little bit of an inquisition onto what's happening with the team. Bella, take it away.
Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV. My name is Bella. I am a presenter and hostess of this channel. Thank you for tuning in. The show is about to begin. I want you to give this video a cheeky little like, and subscribe to our channel, if you have not done so yet. As you must agree that I am better looking than Mark Goldbridge,
Bloody
so what
hell.
are you waiting for? Just do it, smash that like button now. Let's go Reds, buckle up, get ready to rumble.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
And I'm not so happy this morning, but I have to smile because the chat, you guys are always here to support me. Thank you for joining me. It's all good to have you guys with me. It's always comforting to know that, I'm not going through this alone. And it's not only me that's disappointing in the performances of this team. Morning to you, Ilian Tenno. Shouts out to you. Morning to Stephanie. More mess, dissection, no expectations, no disappointments. Sometimes that's how it is. Good morning, Astrid Mia. How are you doing today? 12 likes already, guys. Thank you so much. Just keep the likes coming in. Help us get out to the community. It's another day in Manchester United, right, guys? And as much as we don't want this, it's gonna be a big problem, And the news around town, Eric Ten Hag, after the meeting, his press conference, he reported, "I am a fighter." And what does he mean by that? He means that he knows the result isn't good. Knows everything looks abysmal, it looks dismal, and he's not at all happy, But from what he is seeing in the training, something is working. It's going to be a matter of time before the players are able to fully execute the style of play. And it's just interesting that, this is what he would say. And it's also even more interesting, right? That West Brown, other former Reds like Gary Neville are still backing Eric Ten Hag. In their statements, they are like, the manager is at the eye of the storm. And the difference making is, can he weather the storm? They have all seen the different aspects, the different strategies tried by different managers before, and the same performances by these same players. And there are some players who have just been seen to not be performing well. And Eric Ten Hag has serious decisions to make. He made 9 changes last night. Casemiro was chosen as captain last night. I'm not sure if everyone knows this, right? And the nine substitutions and changes he made seemed refreshing to the team, right? And like Gus Taylor is saying, Ten Hag in. I'm also Ten Hag in. Sidmia, I'm backing Ten Hag all the way as well. Jamie, I know you're having a tough one like me now, bro, but I know you still love Eric Ten Hag deep down inside. And I don't think he's going to disappoint us, lads, but I do think it's going to be a tough next 3 weeks, and in this next 3 weeks, we have a good run of games, so it should be not all bad. We face Fulham on Saturday, and the manager is hopeful despite the abysmal performance last night, and he's urging the team, it's not good. We can do better. We must stick together. We must fight. We must not only fight for ourselves, but we must fight for the badge. Fight for the team, right? And that was his message to the players after their loss last night. And I'm that's a strong message for me, because I would have been flipping out last night if I was the manager. Everyone in the Manchester car park of Old Trafford would have heard me screaming at those players last night, because it was disappointing, guys. And I understand how you all feel. It was extremely disappointing. Yet another weak performance by Diego Dalot. It has been stinker after stinker, in between some decent performances. But these stinkers has to stop, guys. And it's exciting to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka touching grass, something I thought I would never say, because I am not a big fan, but he's making me a big fan. And I like this, because this is what Manchester United is about. This is what, being a player is about. Making fans because of your performances week in, week out. And Diego Dalot is changing my mental on him. He deserves to be dropped for these performances. There's no strength. Why not? If you want to come in, come on, Alien. It's no problem. I'll have you. You know what I mean? So it's like, these guys, I think it's going to be a tough one. And we very much need a change in some positions, because some of these positions are key positions to our strategy. And it's going to be difficult if the performances don't change. So Eric Ten Hag needs to make some big decisions. And also with Diego Dalot, there are other players going to need to be dropped. I think the team looked well without Bruno Fernandes. Maybe he should be dropped for another game. You know what I mean? I wasn't happy about the performance of Mason Mount, but hats off to him. He made the walk around it and apologized to the fans with Rasmus Højlund last night. So we have to give these guys the respect, right? And as much as I might be upset, maybe his performances will get better. Maybe it's me just being overly critical. At the same time, it would be nice if these players would start giving some better performance, because it's not just about the manager. It's not just about where we are in the table. It's about being professional, and they are not coming up to the standard. I'm also going to talk about this because this is going to be a blow. Captain last night is injured. He's unable to perform in the game against Fulham. He will be undergoing medical, and he will probably not be available for the game against Copenhagen. It is left to be seen. If, however, the medical has been successful, he will most certainly, be pushed back. But until then, he didn't have a great performance last night, but Brazilian midfielder, it was, how can I say it? It's just a complicated situation. He got injured before the half finished, so he was unable to execute himself well. These things happen in games, so we have to also understand that, the players are human as well. And we are going to talk about this squad. But before we talk about this squad, I'm joined by none other than Peter, guys. Alien Tenno. Come, let's hear what's happening here. What's going on, Alien? How are you doing, my bro?
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, all chats. How are you doing? Hey, raining outside,
Tough
raining
morning.
in the ground. You know what, Mark? I left Old Trafford at half-time yesterday. I'll tell you why, for a couple of reasons. I was in the Fergie stand, which the part of the stand I was in was a lot of family there, kiddies and all that. They were drunk Newcastle fans in there kicking off. No police, nothing. There were kids crying. I telephoned my wife at half-time and she just said, get out of there. Just get out of there. This is the third game, if you don't count the City game. This was Galatasaray, Copenhagen, and Newcastle now, where away fans have been in sections of the home section. This is an accident waiting to happen. Someone is going to seriously get injured because the Glazers are selling £54 tickets for £175 a go, and they don't care where they put people as long as they're getting them the money in. No police. The stewards looked like they didn't want to know. I think they didn't even know how to deal with it. myself, and it was getting onto the game, Mick. Sorry, Mick, Mark. My bad. We've got no style of play. I've seen a C team, a Newcastle C team, that follow a blueprint. So when their 18 players ain't playing, the C team has got a blueprint to play to. Yeah, that first goal was shocking. Garnacho loses the ball. Hannibal and Mount run for the same player. Don't put a challenge on Livramento. Livramento carries the ball, 40 meters, 40 yards up the pitch. Lindelof backs off. Darlow's got no spatial awareness. He plays a simple pass and it's in the back of the net. And I'm looking at it going, as soon as that goal went in, everyone looked at each other and thought, we're going to get battered here. You can just see it coming. And I tell you what, I'm not Eric Ten Hag out, but I want him to get sacked for the simple reason of I think he's going to mentally be destroyed by this club if he keeps staying here. They're not backing him. They're not doing anything. He looks like a rabbit in headlights. He just does not know what to do. The players are not playing for him. Obviously, there's player power. You know, there's a lot of talk. The booing. What a lot of people don't get, who don't go to the ground, is the atmosphere within inside the ground. I can tell you this now. Eric Ten Hag has lost the fans in the ground. They've gone. They don't want him. All I'm hearing is, we don't know what we're doing. There's no play. We don't know what we're doing. The players just don't know what they do. They don't know what to do when they've got the ball. You've seen it. No passes. I mean, Martial shouldn't have played last night. He was no service, nothing. It's like, people moan about Martial. It's like, well, what can you do if he doesn't get the ball? You can't score if you don't get the ball. Same with Ireland. And then when we're out of possession, you can literally see the players looking at each other. It's like, do you go? Do I go? Where do I go? And the first goal just summed it all up. We're in disarray. And when Eric Ten Hag said, that was the biggest red flag for me, when he turned around and said, these players can't play the Ajax way where I want to implement Ajax. I'm thinking, okay then, Eric, tell me what your plan B is. Because you haven't got a plan B, have you? That's what it is. You just haven't got a plan B. If you can't do what you want to do, you're not good. And I don't think, even if these players could actually play the style of play he wants to play, Eric Ten Hag, I don't think they've got it in them to do it anyway, because they're in a comfortable niche. They're getting paid a king's ransom, and there's no pressure on them whatsoever, and they literally don't care. Roy Keane said it last season. These players will throw Eric Ten Hag under the bus, and we're seeing it happening in real time. It's the same gang doing the same thing. Exactly. You know what? I hope they sack him. He'll get £15 million payoff. Yeah. Well deserved for the crap he's had to put up with at the club. Go back home to Ajax and make them a great team again. And with £15 million in your bank account, and at least you can walk out the door with your head held up. At least I won a trophy under these circumstances with this club. Other than that, I mean, Mark, look, we've lost 8 games out of 15. Yeah. Mm-hmm. At Old Trafford, we've lost 3 goals against Brighton. We've lost 3 goals against City, 3 goals against Newcastle, 3 goals against Galatasaray. That's 4 out of our 8 games at home. We've shipped 3 goals. Then we've lost 3 goals at Arsenal away. Then we've lost 4 goals at Bayern Munich away. He can't sustain this, Eric Ten Hag. This is a runaway train. He's not in control of this. The writing's on the wall for him. It's a shame, because I think with the right backing, he will do something. But sometimes you just got to look at the cold hard facts and go, this is too big for him, the job. He can't do this. I think it's too big for anyone with the current ownership. Yeah, it's a poison chalice. Yeah, go on, my man.
Yeah, Alien, like, I could echo your sentiments exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Let me get let me get some help from the famous Amos, the big man himself. Let him come on and give his assessment of the team.
Morning, Mick.
Good morning, Mick. How
Good
are you doing,
morning,
boss?
good morning, good morning, morning. How you all doing? It's afternoon where I'm sitting. It's 4:20 in
Nice.
Thailand time. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can hear you
Loud and
clearly,
clear.
Mick.
yeah.
How is everything?
Big up,
Good to
Peter. How are
go.
you doing?
I'm all right, my man. You? Did you see the video I
That's
sent you from Old Trafford?
I did. Sorry, I
Yeah,
was upside. Everything was upside down yesterday, and I
I
did
know.
send a little sneak peek of my kitchen, the installation, what's going on right now. Sorry. Yeah, listen, big up to all of you. Good morning to everyone. VR room. I'm back. Just trying to sort myself out, running on a Wi-Fi broadband, mobile broadband at the moment, and a temporary plant. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
It's good. I look ridiculous, right?
yeah.
I need a haircut too.
Yeah.
Soon I'm getting
Mhm.
gray hair, Peter. So this club is aging me. Really,
Listen,
really
just be
fast.
thankful you got it. Doesn't matter what colour it is.
Oh, soon we will all be bald like Ten Hag, to be honest. What to say yesterday? We're talking about yesterday's game. First and foremost, Peter, thank you for sending me that video as well.
Yeah,
The club is absolutely broken in shambles. Again,
it
they
is.
are selling, tickets to the home grandstand in this, Sir Bobby Charlton stand. Or was it Sir Alexander?
Sir Alex
Alex
Ferguson stand, yeah.
Yeah. And you sent me videos and there was troubles and fights and hooligans and stuff like that. That is not on. Why they keep doing that, I don't know. They did it against Galatasaray. They did it against Copenhagen, and they're basically selling at double the price. So it tells me the club is broken. What can we do? All right. I did a tweet yesterday, guys, that we are not longer the big club Manchester United. Not anymore. Forget about that. For me, commercially, we are a powerhouse, but commercially also, if you've seen the financial report, it's more about the debt. The operational,
Yeah.
we made a profit of 600 something million pounds, but the debt is higher. It's about 1 billion. So if you do a balance scorecard sheet, you will understand that the debt is higher than the actually profit, and that is actually affecting the transfer market, and everything is being now on a credit card. This club needs to be sold in resolution ASAP because nobody knows what's going on. If you have Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh, they don't give a rat's ass, to be honest, because they don't even know if they're going to have a job in 6 months. So there's no lack of guidance, no vision. People in the cantina don't know if they have the job, and this goes all the way down to the dressing room, according to my opinion. That's why you see heads are dropping at the moment. That's my thinking. It's even affected Ten Hag, I've always looked at the performance yesterday to say in 2 games at Old Trafford we have 6-0 in aggregate. We leaked in 6 goals and scored nothing. Um, I think the manager is shell shocked. To be honest, he doesn't look himself. I think himself is looking out of confidence. He doesn't really know what to do anymore. And coming back to what you say, playing the Ajax style, it's Johan Cruyff way. These are players that are coming out, young kids coming out and got taught to play that way from the academy. You come into Manchester United where we have a broken academy. We used to be the academy. We used to bring up the kids and play the youth and play the kids. Right. What we saw at least yesterday was a little bit of a more energy. I like the dirtiness and the fight in Hannibal Mejbri, 100%. But he was living on a red card, but he was fighting for the badge. He was like, come on, come on, come on. I remember Saka when we saw him coming. It was like, yeah, we really understood what we've been missing. Diego Dalot yesterday was in fault for 2 goals. According to my opinion, he was subbed up in the second half. 2 times his ball watching and let this happen run. So we were basically run through. Like it was so easy to score, in open play. But what to expect when we are playing the Carabao Cup, which is supposed to be the energy drink? We certainly ran out of that energy yesterday. And where do we go from here? I always love my club. I back my club. And I believe that there could be some resolution, but right now entire squad, entire management, they look out of confidence and they're panicking, right? But they're not going to sack the manager because they don't have money to sack the manager at the moment. Everyone's mind, according to Arnold and everything else, they're just looking after themselves. You know, we need a resolution as soon as possible. Where is this club going? What is the direction? Because we don't have a vision, we don't have a plan. It was clearly demonstrated in the transfer window. We were given like 120 million on a credit card from Santander to go and shop, right? So that's pretty much saying we're not going to give you any more money. That's it. Take it or leave it. So I was watching the game 3 a.m. in the morning. Like, you know, I had 22 hours flight. I just arrived yesterday, and you know, I'm so Patriot red, so I have to watch the game to the end, right? What if something happens? What if? But no, I don't think we have no playing style at the moment. I don't think there is a plan, but I don't think sacking the manager right now is the right thing to do either, right? I think the right thing to do right now is to get the Glazers, the new ownership out, and build from there, right? That's what I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, if we continue like this to Christmas, just close the shop. You know, forget about, you know, finishing top 4, top 5. Forget about all the cups. Like, you know, maybe we should just take a rebuild, like, you know, next season and just focusing on the league. You know,
I mean,
really.
you know what, Mick? I mean, let's look at it from this viewpoint. Yeah, I don't think we get top 5, not in current form anyway. No chance. Carabao, obviously, without the Carabao Cup, you might as well say without the Champions League. Could we win the FA Cup? You never say never, but probably won't. If they sack Eric Ten Hag and then a manager comes in and he's got funds in January, then it just goes to show you how scummy the Glazers are, isn't it?
Yeah, but
It's
the
like, how
Glazers
come
win
you
again.
couldn't give him the funds he really needed in the summer?
Yeah.
You sack him, but then you find money in January for a different manager. It's like, it makes no sense, does it?
Makes no sense either now, because they're not going to give. There is no funds to give in January,
No.
if what we've seen according to financial reports, mate. But it makes no sense. Who are you going to appoint? Like, you know, are we going to get, like, you know, a get another club legend in, like, you know, get Wayne Rooney in to coach, and people will be happy? It's all about,
Unless,
you know, it's all about, you know, giving you short-term endorphins, short-term fix. And the problem with this club has always been like, you know, I get rid of Rashford and we'd be better. Get rid of the manager and we would be better. But then we're back on the same hamster wheel again 18 months later, right? Then I know it's hard for me to say, but you know, if you look at Arteta, he finished like 8, 9 in 2 seasons, like, you know, and now with this time, like, you know, with his implementation of getting the place that he wants, fine. I read something about that there is some influence with SCG, like, you know, the Dutch agency. They've been relying too heavy on them recruiting. So maybe Erik Ten Hag should step away. But then you got to ask yourself a question: why did he step in the first place to recruit? Because the sporting director above, the so-called sporting director, is not doing jack shit, right? He sits on his fingers. 2 weeks left of the transfer window, he kind of wakes up and starts panicking, right? We are never fast, you know. Mason Mountiel was probably the fastest way to go, but according to my opinion, it was a more of a club signing. You know, it was more of the English quota to fill, but it doesn't make sense for me.
I mean, like the Mason Mount signing, it's baffled me. I know when he was a manager at Utrecht, Ten Hag, you know, he had an eye on Mason Mount. You know, what player you like 4 years ago to what player you like now are two totally different things. And I think the price we paid for Mason Mount when you got James Maddison available, it just goes to show you the lack of football knowledge at Manchester United, because Maddison is head and shoulders above Mount. And look at the league table. He's playing in a team that's top of the league, and he's effectively running that team, Spurs. And it's like just one simple signing.
He's an attacking midfield, so why would if I were to? That doesn't tell me that, you know, we got rid of Fred to recruit Mason Mount. Like, you know, that makes sense, because we have, unless we were planning to get rid of Donny van de Beek and he was a Donny van de Beek signing, you know, replacement. and Donny van de Beek didn't go anywhere. So he's kind of stuck there because people in the sporting department didn't do the job, right?
No,
He couldn't get
that's
rid of
it.
he couldn't get rid of the deadwood that he wanted. He was overruled. So he's kind of stuck with these players at the moment. And some of them are just there for the paycheck. It's clear and obvious to see, right?
Yeah, it is.
Keep playing Magebury because he understands it. Keep playing the youngster. They understand it. Kobe Maino is coming into the fray as well, right? But what's going on with Varane, I don't understand. So we're back and playing the Chuckle Brothers at the back line. Like,
Yeah,
just because Maguire did a couple of few games doesn't mean that he's the solution. He was too slow, you know. I always say that, we cannot play out of the back with Maguire because as soon as he gets the ball, it is just like watching a snail's funeral, right?
I know.
The way
I-
he passes is the way it takes forever and ever and ever to transfer the ball. Now, what's going on with the final third? I just don't understand what's going on. Why there was
There's-
no cohesion, there was no link-up play, nothing, right? So we
no.
need to fix that midfield ASAP because it's unbalanced as well.
Yeah.
Midfield and the back four.
I think
Coming.
But what it is, Mick, is like I was saying to Mark just before you came on. When we get the ball, when we're in the transition of going forward, the player's carrying the ball and he's looking around and no one's moving.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul Merson said it a few games ago. Man United play Subbuteo football. The players are standing there and they're waiting for someone to just flick them into position. It's like, move. Give the guy an option to play the ball too.
It's like Grace.
People,
It's like Gray.
the opposition just stand there looking at the Man U play, going, "But if the ball comes to you, I've got your number straight away." And sure as eggs is eggs, the ball gets played to a United player, and they get tackled because you're not playing the game in flowing motion. You're standing still football, and then you get caught. Like you say, the first goal, you're standing still. That team's in motion, Newcastle, and they just got knife through a butter in the blink. It's nothing fantastic, the goal. It's basic, simple football. And they just run through us.
Listen,
I've seen this in the first game.
I agree what you're saying.
Wolves.
Gray says Mount is playing with loads of turkeys, and he doesn't understand what Ten Hag wants of it either. Listen, big up to you, mate, but I'm trying to say that every single player that comes to this club kind of lose their ball ability all of a sudden. It's like they don't know how to play football. It's like you're playing in a pub league Sunday. Now, what's going on? I mean, you were a professional footballer, and as soon as you come to a club, you just totally forget. Even every manager as well, you totally loses your mind. I mean, what is the problem?
I mean, I looked at Amrabat last night, and he had a bit of a stinker, Amrabat. And within the space of 6 games, he's starting to regress already because of the team around him and the style he's playing. He just doesn't know what to do.
There is something. Did somebody left a voodoo doll in the locker room or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird, guys, because I keep wondering, what's the root cause of all these problems? And I watched back the game last night, until about 3 o'clock this morning. I was up watching back the game and I was like, what really happening to this team? You know what I mean? You're seeing a lot of individual errors, a lot of poor individual decision making. And when you see it from the low in one part of the game, you see it from Mason Mount, you see it from another midfielder, you see it from Harry Maguire, you see it from Lindelof, you see Onana make a mistake, then you see, but these players, it's one thing when you see him make mistakes and they call them out, right? And then, but it's another thing when the players are around them, not trying to help them cover for the mistakes they're making, because at the end of the day, team sport, right?
Yeah.
So when it have players who just playing for themselves, and you have new players coming into the club that have a high energy, they're excited, and then they meet these guys that leave hanging them out to dry on the football field.
Yeah.
It's like, it's basic us, you know what I mean? And, we need to, all these players need to take a stock of themselves. Even if I could call out some players, because I'm actually seeing the things that they're doing wrong, because I may not like them or whatever the cases, but I could call out other players as well. But it have different performances.
You gotta call out everyone that is not performing,
Yeah.
I don't have any favorites in the club. I've never been a player FC, but there was nobody on that pitch that deserved its roses except Hannibal Majebury, according to my opinion, because at least he was playing with a heart. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
you
was
know,
he was getting
you would say
dirty. He was
Hannibal
getting.
Majebury, but it had some other players on the field that I think had better games than Hannibal last night that went unnoticed. You know, and not taking away from his game last night. He played very well because I even said it last night on the stream with Papi. I was like, Hannibal on a yellow card. Why is everyone else playing like they on the yellow card, not Hannibal? Understand? The
They don't
level
want
at
to
him had as
Crazy,
sacrifice
isn't
well.
it?
themselves. Listen, mate, they are a
And
bunch
his,
of prima donna porcelain stalls.
Yeah.
They don't want to get injured. They don't want to give for the club. You know, at least if you have the ability, if you have the passion and you're willing, you understand what it is to play. You're coming in, you're under 21 player. You want to break into the team. You know, the rest are complacent, according to my opinion. They're not playing for the team. They're playing for the salary paycheck, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't give a rat's ass of Peter going there as a match going fan every day, you know, to let him down. You know, at the end of the
No.
day, like, you know, if you look at how Newcastle is playing, my friend, they're playing like a unit. They're playing for each other.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're
I
not
mean,
getting paid, like, you know, they're not getting paid 200K a week.
Eddie Howe took over Newcastle only a few months before Eric Ten Hag took over United. Newcastle were in the bottom three. They looked like they were dead and buried. He turned that club round. Okay, the difference is Newcastle have got better owners than Man United, of course.
Yeah.
But you still have to coach these players into a system. It doesn't matter what owners you have. You have to coach the team. And to
Yeah, when
me,
it comes
it
down
seems
to
Eric Ten Hag, if you can't play the
reality,
way he wants to play, doesn't know how to coach.
yeah, but I've been thinking reality has bitten us, right? King Stash member for 2 months. Big up to you. Good morning.
Big up King Stash.
Listen, guys, as a realist that we are, you just got to look, right? Where are we now? You know, Newcastle has got new money, they got new owners. They surpassed us in terms of
Yeah.
how we play. They have a proper structure in place, a sporting vision, right? Arsenal, the same. They improved. They gave Arteta, like, you know, time. He built a squad, right? Where are they now? They're playing great football. Who else? Aston Villa as well. Brighton, same
West
sporting
Ham.
vision, sporting project. All it generates from top, from the owner, from the CEO, with the sporting vision, with the project. Everyone is aligned. It goes all the way down to the dressing room. Manchester United, we used to be good. We used to win trophies. Hell, we haven't even won for 10 years a Premier League trophy. But what we are good at is commercials, right? We are a gravy train FC,
Yeah.
right? Creates engagements and click on social media. And this is what they love the club, you know. And this is called divide and conquer within the fan base. But we got to wake up and smell the coffee because we haven't won jack shit. Yeah, we won one Carabao Cup and finished third. But we are regressing, not progressing. And that is because we don't have a structure from Eric Ten Hag and above. You know, it's paper over the crap. They gave us, like, you know, Murta just to shut us up, right? We have a sporting director. But if you look at him, he's not a sporting director, right? Everything above Ten Hag, it's rotten to the core, right? People that come in, you will start to feel the culture, because if I'm speaking about culture, then it goes all the way down to the dressing room, because you're working for one organization. In this case, we call it a club, but it is actually a company, right? So if you have bad engagement, bad culture, it certainly rubs the individuals. Say, hey, why should I make an effort? I get paid 250K a week. I do bare minimum, right? So that is the root cause, right? So what I'm saying is that everyone is surpassing us. The people that used to be mid-table clubs are now playing in top 5, and we are playing in the mid-table, right? Because the structure is not there. You know, the training facilities is like 10 years old and more, right? The injuries is just a shambles because we don't have a proper medical physio teams as well. So what is this manager supposed to do, right? Every manager that came to the club walked out, you know, looking like they were aging 20 years older. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got a more gray hair when he walked out
Mentally
than when he actually came
disturbed.
in. Right. So the only way to fix this right now is basically, I don't know what people are saying, why they are so excited by having like, Ineos to come in with 25%, because that ain't gonna fix shit, to be honest. You need 100%
No.
glazes out. That's
Yeah.
it. Burn the place
You,
down and build it up from ashes again.
you know what? I was talking to a guy next to me last night, and we were just laughing, and we said, "It's a wonder we can get a gardener to actually mow the grass at this club. At least we can get that right." You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
you just
Jamie,
gotta
like,
laugh. You just cry if you
yeah,
don't. It's yeah. I'm talking to people that inside the
yeah,
stadium, and they've had enough. And the
yeah.
season ticket holders are going, we're done. We've had enough of this. There's no point. You're just punishing yourself.
There
It
was a
is
question.
it is the definition of insanity from a Man United
It is.
viewpoint.
It
Is
is.
you're powerless to change it, but you keep going out every week and you keep moaning about it. Somewhere along the line, you need to break the mold and get out of it
Yeah,
for your
there
own
is.
sanity, because you're helpless. You're powerless to change it, and that's the thing.
For your
It's
own
a shame,
sanity,
but
for your,
what can you do? This is
yeah.
what money does to things, isn't it? They say it's the root of all evil, and it is.
That is unfortunate, like, because we love this club. This is our family, right? So
Yeah,
even if we lose, we want to support, but at least give us some great football to lead. I
yeah,
don't care if we lose to 3-0, but at least if we watch some good patterns to play, some glimpses of hope. Yeah, I understand. But how did we get to this? Like, we're actually regressing then progressing.
yeah,
Normal trajectory, if you finish third, you should, bolster the squad and, take it to the next level. That was always the plan. But I would say that he got screwed over
yeah,
in the transfer window, as per usual. Like, this is typical what Glazers do to you, right? They get you a new manager, they give you a little bit of a fund, and you spend it. He gets you into the top four in Champions League. They will cut the funds straight away. They cut off the tap, right? Because they already made the Champions League extra revenues. We all know that. We all seen it. It's 120 million, right, on a credit card loan, and plus have to sell a lot of players to generate sales. And the club even
yeah.
said no. We're not going to sell you McTominay. We're not going to sell you Maguire. So he's stuck with all this deadwood still,
It's unreal, isn't it?
and I had to go on the loan market at the final hour actually to loan Sophie Amrabat, which he was planning to buy. And apparently
Yeah,
Mason Mount was kind of a club negotiations over his head as well to say we will take him. We don't need Mason Mount.
no. I
He's a
mean, the thing
surplus of
was,
a
Mick,
requirement.
we had to sell promising young midfielders just to fund the loan deal for Amrabat.
Yes.
But you
Y-
know what I
y-
mean? That's how bad it is. You literally sell him. I'll come back to a comment Jarvis just put on there. If I can find it, he said, "Wouldn't the Glazers find themselves in hot water if Ten Hag were to resign? In this
Yeah.
scenario, the Glazers could be in for a real ordeal if Ten Hag calls
Yeah.
he quits." I really hope Eric Ten Hag does resign, because you know what that means? His non-disclosure agreement when he took the manager's job would mean nothing, because he wouldn't
True.
pay him severance pay, and he could sit there in front of the press and call them out for what they are.
Yep.
And by the way, Eric Ten Hag's family are quite a wealthy family as well. He doesn't
They are.
actually need the money.
He
I
doesn't need the
really
money.
wish he'd do it.
I did a small video. Maybe it was just my conspiracy thinking, but I called it, "Is Ten Hag doing a Jose Mourinho?"
Yeah,
He, what do you do? Like, you remember what Jose Mourinho did? He didn't get his signing. So the way he was protesting, he was
yeah,
playing people in the wrong positions and throwing away games. I kind of see the same thing what Ten Hag is kind of doing right now, but in a more polite way, right?
yeah.
I had enough. Is this his way to say, like, I don't know. He probably knows that they cannot sack him at the moment, but he needs a new structure ASAP. He cannot work with these clowns above.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah,
For me, it ain't matter if we finish eighth this season or 10th, as long as we get new ownerships in, like, as long as we can start competing next year. I'm willing to say, give away this season, forget about Champions League, forget about everything, like, just focus on the league next season, get new owners, start over, right? Because we ain't going anywhere this season by the looks of it.
I'd take relegation, Mick. I'm being serious. I was talking to. I was on the concourse at half time as I was leaving. I was leaving, and I was talking to a few guys, and the common denominator was, if it means getting rid of the Glazers, we'd gladly take relegation.
Yep. No, I back
I'll
Ten Hag,
take the
man.
humiliation of relegation just to get the Glazers gone. I would. I've lived through relegation anyway.
Yeah,
I've seen
agree
it,
with you.
so it's no big deal.
You know,
I think that Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Barman is saying we are not a third place club. Back Ten Hag, get rid of the owners and bring decent players with fight and passion and pride. I was about to say that, Barman, as well. Like, big up to you. I certainly believe that is, I've seen what the manager can do. Definitely, I know that he doesn't have the squad to do what he wants to do, right? He had a vision, he sold it into Merton and stuff, and they didn't deliver what he wanted. Simple as that, right? So now he's got to play with these muppets that don't understand basic footballing IQ, what it is to stick to rules and principles. So it looks like we are going like off script every time we play. Nobody really knows what to do. I mean, they've been given instructions in order how to play. But it looks like we're still on a pre-season, to be honest, because we never really had a pre-season, guys, did we? And if you add up all the injuries that's been accumulating over the squad, he hasn't really had the chance to play his starting 11 as of yet. So we basically still in pre-season, right?
Yeah.
Therefore, for me, it was so good to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming in, and even if you play second half, he showed what we missed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up Jeff Steele with this.
Sorry, Mick. The problem with that, look, maybe the one little crumb Ten Hag can have is, he's had a lot of injuries, which has affected the stability of the team. But when you're looking at a C team, Newcastle playing off the park, 6 of their first team players weren't playing.
True. Big up Jeff Steele with the super chat coming in. It is the club, players included, revolting against the Glazers. Everyone want Qatar, so everyone have down the tools to full sail. Thoughts? Yeah, that's exactly what I am thinking without even saying it. I was saying, is it a conspiracy? Because is this what we're witnessing? Everyone is down tooling to get the Glazers out, because the better we do on the pitch, the more economical it's benefiting from the Glazers. But if we're not winning, the stock prices kept dropping and losing and losing and losing, right? I mean, I dare to say it, but that's what I said. Is he doing a Jose Mourinho, right? Are they doing a Jose Mourinho? For me, it doesn't make sense how you can, regress instead of progress as a team, unless something above you is really stinking, right? And that's what I was thinking. Right now, at the club, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody's been communicated to. We know that there's been this, strategical review. And everyone, I bet you, like even the shoe boy, the locker room boy, the lady in the cantina, everyone is wondering, do I still have a job? So when you have this unrest in any work situation, you keep looking after yourself. So why should I bother, right? Why should I work for you if I don't even know if I have a future? There's no carrot in the stick, right? So I believe this has affected the whole squad, including the managers, everyone. It's just infected with this virus. So I agree with you, Jeff Steele. So big up to you.
Yeah, I agree with him as well in a sense, because it's like when I look at it from the perspective where, a lot of people would say we don't see a style of play. I would say we don't see a consistent style of play, because I see some movement, I see some tactical points that they be repeating. They repeat some movements in certain games more than once, and then it works and we score a goal. And a lot of people don't notice this. Right, but then when the team not consistent with it, because some of them learn in these positions and they're not able, and fluidity in the fluidity that he's talking about is like in the Dutch vibe of fluidity. It's not really like with fluid players. It's more like a left back We progress up the field into the different sections of the field, from the defensive to the midfield third. He progressed to become a left midfielder from a left back. That's his new role. And if he go into the attack, whichever role he step into, it could be center, attacking midfield, it could be striker, it could be right wing, depending on where he overlap and how his progression take him in his run. Right? He's supposed to fill that role, and that's the fluidity that Erik Ten Hag trying to employ with the team. And yes, it's going to take a while for some of these guys to understand it and become consistent with it. So blaming him for every mistake is just like what Big T's saying here.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you, Peter, as well. Listen, for everyone that's tuning in, big up. Like, I'm back a little bit jet lag. Look at my hair, man. I need a haircut. I just landed. I'm in Thailand at the moment, in Phuket. But listen, I watched the game with when I had to pin up my eyes yesterday. But what I seen, fan base was asking, drop Rashford, drop Bruno, drop this. Ten Hag listened. First half, he dropped Bruno, he dropped Rashford. Did it make a difference? That's what I'm trying to establish.
No.
Yes, he put in that. No, he didn't. Did they make a difference when they came in either? No, they didn't. So we have the answer there, that nothing is working, right?
No.
Except for the hungriness of the youth that came in, because they have passion, right? So where is it broken? Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. We have no first 11 as of yet. We usually center backs pairings. They are, they're like glue. They form a partnership. Same with midfield partnership. We kept chopping and changing. It ain't working, right? So where are we stuck?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, Mick. Yeah, but I mean, the underlying factor. I mean, you're playing football. It's like anything. You have to have a game plan, don't you? You can have Class A player, Class B player, Class C player. Maybe the Class C player is nowhere as good as Class A. But if you're playing to a set system, a set blueprint, at least you can marginally play that way. We are just playing players, and it's like, go and do what you can do. We have to have a game plan, and the bottom line is we have not got a game plan.
No,
players, it doesn't matter how good a player is. We've got Casemiro, top class player. He had the stinker in the first half. That's nice. Yeah. So if you've got seasoned pros like him having stinkers, why are they having stinkers? That's what you got to look at. They're having stinkers because they don't know what to do, because they're not being told what to do. It comes down to, well, what are you teaching these players, this squad of players, in training? We all see videos of them training where they're playing nice little one-touch triangle football and all this, but that doesn't mean you've got to start a play.
I'm looking at from that point, Peter, as well, that if I look at last season, he was more of a man-to-man manager as well. Like, was laying arms around players, shipped off Sancho to rehab and stuff like that. And this time around, Sancho stabbed him in his back, and it's been kind of affected the whole squad. Maybe it goes back all the way to Sancho. They were all mates and everything, and so he's been dealt with other duties than just managing the squad, right? So he's got a lot of shit on his plate that he had to work. And at the end of the day, you're just a human being, right? You're just a human being. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's lost his way, his confidence, like the rest of the team. But it's time to snap out. It's time to snap out.
Big up to Jeff.
It's like big up to Jeff.
Big up Jeff
for the super chat. Thank you for the Aussie dollar $5 super chat. Erik Ten Hag has always been a disciplinarian on the touchline. Not anymore. Just stands and accept the inevitable. The whole club have down tools and given up. I don't exactly agree with that comment, but thank you so much, Jeff Seal. At the same time, it's like, I understand. Sorry to cut you there, Mick. That's going to go into the comment a little really quickly. It looks like he's given up, but he's been gesturing and talking to players. You hear him on the pitch when the ball goes off the field close to his side. You hear him talking to Lindelof and Delo and telling them what to do. So I don't think he's given up. I think some of the players are not executing the tactics well. I think it could be better. there is a game plan. You could see that there's a plan because they have like certain movements that the team coordinate repeatedly throughout the game. So there is a plan. It's just the execution, the energy levels by some players are not sufficient. It's not matching the energy levels of some of the young players like Hannibal Medjugorje who come on. So it's more down to some individualistic bad performances, low effort, low interpretation of what the plan is they need to execute, that causing like the entire team to look terrible because some players look like they know what's going on and some players don't. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
The thing is, Mick, yeah, you got to look at it this. Look at the players Eric Ten Hag has bought. Casemiro, Varane, short life, short shelf span. They'll be gone the end of the season, probably to the Saudi League. And Anna, obviously, we can't judge him. Few games. Mason Mount is not fitting in whatsoever. Anthony is erratic at best. Razor Soyland's not getting any service whatsoever. We're talking of £460 million here, and there's no system. You can't blame the Glazers for this. This is down to the manager. £460 million, and we have no game plan.
Nobody has questioned.
They're the bare facts.
Nobody has questioned if the manager ever got his first choices or not, because we have John Murtaugh sitting there, and we know who he is. This is the guy that tried to get over Rabiot for 2 years in a row over the manager. And big up to this chat, Chuninho. All goals are a result of 2 to 3 mistakes. The ball, nobody regains it or put a tackle in. Do not even track the runners. Big up, man. This is exactly what I was thinking. It's exactly so. It comes down to Jeff Steele's super chat earlier as well, because are you having no IQ as well? Are you dumber than the train, right? It's simple instruction. Play the ball. You're a professional ball player. I mean, you wouldn't come to Manchester United if you were not an intelligent ball player, right? You've been selected. But it seems like as soon as you come to Manchester United, you've been given this contract, you forget everything what football is all about. It's like you're living the vida loca, right? So we all seen it under other managers. Why don't you just put in a shift in? Why don't you tackle the ball? Why you becoming like a prima donna porcelain doll, right? Bruno Fernandes has also regressed to that level. The same thing when Bruno came in, he was giving everything, Casemiro, everything. Now nobody wants to put in a tackle. Nobody wants to run and track the ball. It's just like dire to see, right? You cannot let this happen, right? You're playing for a team. I don't know, Peter. I don't know, guys, anymore what to believe anymore about this team, because if you look on paper, this is a good team. If you look at the names of it, they're good football players. Right? I don't think that Pep Guardiola can come in and make a tune if everything above him is rotten, right? You're not getting the support, right? So everything. I'm not going to blame Ten Hag for this moment. Don't want to see, sacking of the manager. I want to see a total restructuring within the football operational side. This is the only way we can get out of this mess. To break this curse.
He's probably sitting there. I mean, if I was Ten Hag, I'd be sitting there and I'm thinking, how am I going to turn this around? How can I turn this around? Because obviously he can't change the owners. That's out of his hands. The people above him he's working with, he probably doesn't trust them. But the one thing he can change is how he plays football. And he's not doing it, is he?
Yeah,
maybe you should just go back and do a Ole Gunnar Solskjaer go out there freestyle.
Yeah, how can he change? How can he change the way he plays when the players who a lot of fans will keep right? But let's not forget, a lot of these players are brand players of the club. Some of these players are the face of the club. Wearing the number 10, and certain players on the field. And if these players not coming out and giving the same effort levels, look, if we contrast the Newcastle team last night, right? The Newcastle team last night played played very hungry and energetic. Now is that Eddie down to solely to Eddie Howe? No,
Yeah.
it's partially to Eddie Howe because the players want to prove themselves for the manager. They want to play for the club. So it's like Jarvis saying, we could check the financial report out, our current situations with no fund, max credit card, and the next paycheck is on July. Makes it compensating Ten Hag impossible. So dropping him is impossible.
Yeah. You look at it from this way, Mark, yeah? How many times has he played Bruno on the right wing this season? Yeah. Now, playing players out of place is disjointing and making the team lopsided. You've got a right winger there, Palestri, just sitting there doing nothing, and you're playing a midfielder in the right wing, like you just said, because he's a name and he can't drop him.
Yeah, but Ilian, hear my point on that, right? Hear my point on the whole players playing out of position, right? Tactics are for a reason. When other coaches do it, no one complains. When Eric Ten Hag does it, he's incompetent, right?
True.
The problem is the execution. I don't know how people like if I walk out on a football field and Mick tell me he needs me to run down the flank, take the ball down the flank the entire time. And if I don't feel like running down the flank, I only feel the most Mick could do is shout at me. I don't have to do it. Yeah. No, the next problem is that he's not dropping some of these players. But you have to remember, some of the players we're talking about right now were the most dependable players last season. Those are the players that every single fan in this room was cheering for last season because they was getting the results for the team. So now that they're not performing well, yes, we have to drop them. But, they look at it from the juggling perspective of, could they turn their own like form around?
If we lose with 3-0, everyone talks about it. If Arsenal lost with 3-1 against West Ham and didn't even qualify, nobody's talking about that. That's the thing.
No one cares.
Arsenal was shit for 3 years under Arteta and only became good on the 4th season, right? Because basically it took him time to recruit. Same with Jurgen Klopp and same with everything. Right now, what it comes down to is what I always say: are you dumber, right? You know this movie Dumb Dumber. He's always talking about playing his rules and principles. Okay, we had a lot of injuries, so that means they had to change his style of play 100% just to get by. So, but it's clear and obvious these players don't understand what instructions is, or they're totally confused. Like, are you not an intelligent football player to understand how to play football by giving instructions? So should we just then revert back to Ole Gunnar freestyle football to say, yeah, just go out there and express yourself, have fun?
Well, another thing what you got to look at, coming back to what Mark said, which was a valid point. Bruno and Rashford were the mainstays last season, and we did get a lot of success through playing them. But this is what happens in football. When you have a successful season, the other teams look at what made you successful and they adapt to you, which then means you have to adapt to them. And we're not adapting. We're carrying on with what we done last season, and it's not working. That means, look at Tottenham Hotspur. No one would have thought Spurs would have been a better team without Harry Kane in that squad. Spurs are better without Harry Kane.
I have a confession to make.
Because the top of the Premiership. That's why they're better.
If you hear a lot of noise, that's kids playing football in the hallway. Early stages.
Sign them up.
Sign them up. Do you want to play for United?
Yeah.
They're playing lots of noise. They're playing kicking the ball in the hallway. Yeah, but it's like, it's funny because, what I said, like, we on paper, we have a good squad if you look at the abilities and stuff like that. I don't believe that Anthony's trash. The Anthony at Ajax was a totally different Anthony. Something has to give, right? Is it the mental ability? Is it the coaching? Are they not getting enough support? I just believe that the whole culture at United is wrong, right? We haven't had a culture for 8 years and more since Sir Alex Ferguson left, right? So it's been like, very toxic. And it's been obvious for me, like, because I've been analyzing for every single manager we had, it's the same pattern. Mourinho was a top class manager, trophy winning manager. After 2 years, he became shit. And where does he coach now, right? So it seems like to me it's a curse. Somebody left a voodoo doll somewhere in a locker room, right? So Mark, go find that voodoo doll.
Yeah,
Anyway, big
I
up
think I need
everyone.
to go on that Inquisition soon, guys.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Tuning Yeah, Chinino is coming in here. The media frenzy against the club and the non-stop stories around players is manic. It's like CNN and the Democratic Party against Trump when he was president. Very big distractions for the coaches. It's a difficult situation, guys, and there's a lot going on around this team right now. It's not just to say that the team just not performing well and they're not doing well and the coach not trying. It's because the coach is trying things. He's doing different formation. He's trying
Yep.
to play players in different forms to get a different result, trying to get something from these players. So for me, is something like what Jack Steele is saying here. Facts, facts, facts. People
Go,
can't
Jack.
afford a new manager. Stick with him. And after every sack manager, we end up in the same position. The manager is not the issue. The players need to be held accountable for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might not play professional football for a big club, but I know any sport you play, when you go out on that football field, if you don't fight and give more than 100, give you every last drop of what you have, you're not going to get success in anything. And your teammates will only be let down. You won't just let yourself down. You know
I
what I mean? It's the
totally agree
difference
with
with these
this.
guys. They have big paychecks. You could
I
see
totally
if
agree with
new
that.
players come in and play well. New players come in and start playing well, and all of a sudden they start playing. It's because
Yeah.
the toxic players are around them. They're hanging them out to dry, like they hang managers out to dry when they feel like. We repeat this process way too much for we to be
I
going
totally
through
agree.
this argumentative state about the manager. And I was like, in the first 2-3 weeks of the season, I was like, what going on with Ten Hag? But then I sit down and I watch the games over and over, and I was like, is these players, some of these key positions, if they were executing and taking their chances, the results would be so different. People would want it would be night and day. And like when Eric Ten Hag said yesterday, day before yesterday, in our press release, he said, we are one game away from that gel that we are looking for. And it's not
Yeah.
bad that he's saying that, And people might laugh at it. But the funny bit is
I
that if the
understand what you're
players,
saying, Matt. Yeah, but look at this. Right. Okay, look. I think we all agree our best defender, Martinez, obviously, was a
Missing.
big miss. Yeah. Now you
big miss.
look at the combination of centre backs Eric Ten Hag's played so far this season. Wouldn't it be more prudent for him in his mind to say, let me just pair, let's say, for example, Maguire and Evans. Doesn't matter whether Varane's fit and whoever, but let me just keep them solid. Let them have a block of games constantly together. But you'll see, like last night, you see Maguire, Evans. Before you've seen Lindelof, Maguire, then before that you've seen Evans and someone else. He's not being constant with his team.
But why is
You have to
Varane
build
left out?
continuity in the team. You can't chop and change players and go, okay, there you go, you'll play the same. No, you have to give players continuity.
Why is he leaving Varane out? For some reason, he's injured.
No, I'm just saying because Varane constitutionally isn't sound. You can't play Varane 10 games back to back.
You can. No, true. Listen, I back the manager. I do. I don't think sacking him is the solution. I just find that there are certain players that they don't understand what instructions are. Right. I see it from a manager standpoint. If you've been a boss, a team leader, or any in a work situation, if somebody's not pulling you or listen to what you have to say, it's constantly going to backstab you. So I think this goes back to through Greenwood situation over the summer, which affected everything. People were expecting him to come back, and then it comes down to Richard Arnold as well. That shafted the things. He promised Ten Hag he will have him, and then he said, "No, by the way, you're not going to have him." Then it came down to the Anthony allegations, and then it came down to the revolt of Jadon Sancho, and that's why he said he's isolated him, not to even come close to the teenagers in the locker room and stuff like that. And I'm sure that they're all mates. They're all big part of a working squad. And I think that there are certain players there that are kind of being affected by all this and say, like, look at this clown, what he's doing, right? But this clown is actually a disciplinarian. We've been crying out for a disciplinarian manager, a tracksuit manager that we got, and we saw results in the first season. So I judge on the first season, to be honest. But I'm also a realist to understand that whatever's going on this season off the pitch is affected what's going on the pitch. So I'm willing to sort of give it a clean slate, just wipe it clean, get new ownership in, and off we go. That should be the main focus right now. Glazers out 100% full sale only. And we can just hope that we will turn it around when people coming back in from injuries, Luke Shaw, Leacher, and everything else, that we find that gel, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly, my personal.
Big up, Jeff.
Jeff Steele, shout out to Jeff Steele, giving 5 memberships this morning. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you,
and
Jeffy.
The 5 members are Yali Malmin, Madhouse, Grey 100, Mark, and Andy Young. Congratulations to y'all. Give a big shout out to Jeff Steele in the comments, and share and subscribe as the community grows, guys. And we've hit 17K. Mick, we've hit 17K.
What?
17,000 subs, bro. We were 6,009.
We are. Night. No, we're not. We are 17,400 subscribers.
Yeah.
What you smoking, Kanja? Sanka. Listen, I just want to round up to say, listen.
Changed just now, so.
Yeah, we've been 17,300. You got the wrong overlay in the way. Listen, I just want to round up before I go. I'm willing to give the managers some benefit of the doubt at the moment because, of course, as fans, we came in with high expectations since we finished third and we won the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup is gone right now. What I want us to do right now is just to focus on the new ownership. GLAZERS needs to go 100%. No 25%. If it's 25%, understand what this is going to be about. I want new sporting vision. I want us to act like a club, right? Apparently, it's not working. What's been working? That's what I said. We've been bypassed by Newcastle, by Villa, by everyone that have an even better sporting project than us, right? We're living in the past. We need to sort of move away from that. I'm willing to sacrifice this season so we can start fresh and only focusing on the league next season to build the football, right? That's the only way. I mean, that's the way I see it. I know we're crying out that we want to be in Champions League, but we are not even ready to play in the Champions League, realistically speaking.
No.
Sanchez exercise punch become too much. I mean, Ivo Bosic's question, Mick, at what point is Sancho's exile punishment become too much? I think he did the right thing, Ivo. He set an example, but there are certain squad members that are good mates with Sancho, if they see, oh yeah, you treat my mate like this, so why should I respect you and work for you, mate? Just put yourself in a normal work situation. If your boss is doing that, people do talk and what's up at each other. Hit 17K. Mark, what you smoking, man? Whatever you do, give some dopamine to us, man. He's living in the past. He just woke up a rock. We hit 17K.
I saw the number change. I wasn't paying attention to it, so I was like, "What? We hit K." I was like,
anyway, thank you for the membership, guys. I gotta go, but it was so nice to see. I just want to come in. I'm looking a little bit. I gotta have a haircut, but listen, it's hard to be a fan at the moment, right? I know we are hurting, right? I know, but we gotta believe. It is a club. It is like our sons and daughters, the club. We can't just abandon them on the street, can we? When you think about it, Peter. All right. Good morning to you. I gotta go anyway, so I just want to come in and say good morning and put some words of wisdom,
Yeah. Get the unpacking done, Nick. Get the unpacking done.
Yes. I will not say that we will go again, but I would say we need to stay mentally strong together.
I think our new
And
catchphrase is this: till we get thrashed again, not go again.
exactly. Thank you, guys, and enjoy. I'm gonna go and fix my hair a
Cheers.
bit, but cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Big up Mark as well,
Cheers.
guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe button. Hit it right now. And we are not on the road path of 17K. We are on the path to 18K. Big up.
18K.
Give Mark his
bye.
roses and also Peter. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, Mick. Peter, like, I heard what you guys are saying, man. Like, it's a tough one to call. Like
It is.
I just feel like there's a lot of things happening around that are affecting the situation. It makes things difficult. Like, I feel no other manager has such a difficult task while trying to accomplish which in itself is already a difficult task. You know what I mean? It's like 1 minute we thinking he has one hand tied behind his back, but now it's like he has both of them tied behind his back and his legs tied, because it's like, they're not getting rid of players he doesn't want. They're not bringing in players that he actually needs, because it's like about a structure, right? And it's about him getting everyone he wants, but it's about the club bringing in the right players that fit the profile. You know what I mean? And we're not doing that. And a shame, a real crying shame to see a good manager like this leave, because everyone says that he's a fraud, right? But look at Ajax. Ajax have a style of play from youth academy straight up senior player for the last how many decades. And look at where they are. They're 17th. So if they are 17th, chop and change 4 different managers in one season, right?
Yeah.
Then what Eric Ten Hag was doing there was working miracles. Because
Of
this
course it
Ajax
was,
team
yeah.
was blowing away he was blowing away the teams that in the league. He was blowing them away 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 3, and now they're at the bottom. So there has to be something that he's doing right. And like, as much as the performances have not been great, like I can't really take it to say that are those any patterns of play. I can't say that I haven't seen any, because I've seen them. I mean, like, if the team win, think about it on this perspective, right? If the team win and they win three goals like we did against Crystal Palace, everyone would be saying, great performance. He get the tactics right. He's seeing patterns of play. But you just see them every game. It's just not as consistent as it was in that particular one game. It was consistent throughout the entire game. But another consistency in our game is that we took chances early. We took the chances that we got. We didn't waste them. And this is the team that breaking down this team. The fact that players who get in chances when created, not taking them. The team too fragile mentally, and this is a problem that I don't think any manager could solve unless he changed a lot more players. And it's not saying that they are terrible players, Alien. Like, they could go on and be better players at other clubs, But the problem is collectively, some of these players together is a problem.
They're mentally weak.
And it will be a problem for any manager. There will be a problem for any manager. So as a fan of the football club, I don't know if I have the rights to say this, but I don't mind we chop and change managers and then we get relegated, because then the Glazers might actually go.
Yeah.
Some fans can't take that. Some fans might can't take that, Alien, but I could take it, because I know the moment something like that happen, it will go the right way. They will chop out all the players, bring in new fellas who go and run blood, sweat, and tears for this team and the badge.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see. Like, people talk about star players and management, but it's not about that. It's about energy, heart, and giving your all, and that's the difference.
I mean, you know what, Mark? Like, coming home on the coach last night, never talking to the fellow United fans. We're saying we could actually stomach the Glazers staying at Man United if they actually just implemented a proper system. With football structure, i.e., basically, Joel Glazer keeps his nose out the football side. You'll make loads of money, son, but you don't know anything about football. Put people in who know how to run a football club, and you'll be successful. I think most of the fan base will tolerate the Glazers but they're just taking everything instead, aren't they? And it's like, this is why we hate you. You're not giving us anything back. You're taking, and giving us nothing back. And it's people just had enough. They've just had enough of it. Going back to what you said about Eric Ten Hag, he won 3 leagues back to back with Ajax. I think he got Ajax to the semi-final of the Champions League, wasn't it? Yeah. So that proves the caliber of the man. You don't do that on a whim. But I think we all know. I mean, we're saying the same thing over and over again. No manager is going to be a success in this regime. What we're in, no one is. It's impossible. It's not set up for people to be successful. And we're paying average players a king's ransom. And they know they're not, as soon as he's tried to implement discipline, Eric Ten Hag, they've all spat the dummies out. Oh, you can't tell Sancho to do that. Oh, why should he have to apologise? Man's on 350 bags a week. Grow a backbone. You've been told off. Never the school days when you were naughty and you've been told off. And then the next day you was the teacher's pal. Just grow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Simple.
Well, they won't do it. They won't do it.
Yeah, it's unreal. And like Jason Attack saying here, I would like to see Menu and Amrabat in the midfield, but who's our best ball winner in midfield? We don't have one right now, and Amrabat can't do it alone. And like I be talking to Jarvis all the time, and I be saying to Jarvis, Jarvis, I've watched your youth team, right? And I've watched all these youth players, and I don't see what fans is we calling for some of these youths, but they have 1 or 2 that show that they're ready, maturity, playing wise, ability wise. But still, like I would say, throw them in there. But that might be wrong because when they come to the Premier League and these physical players in midfield, they will slaughter you in the midfield. They'll put in some heavy tackles, and these young fellas need to learn how to receive those tackles. They need to be able to read those decisions and prepare themselves. And like I would agree with Jason Attack, Menu could revolutionize our midfield because I think he might just be the register that we are trying to purchase in Frankie de Jong, albeit a different side and a slightly different style. He has all the same coefficients as Frankie. So, I back Ten Hag to turn it around in Alien. And I kind of am happy with the prospect that we might be a little bit too poor to afford to pay him off to sack him right now. Because,
I mean,
for me, go ahead, Rick.
I'm looking at it from this viewpoint now, Mark. I mean, we all know, the start we've had to the season. Everyone can see that. Okay, it's not gone how we've wanted it to go. Let's just get up to Christmas. Let's get Christmas out of the way. Start the new year. Get the squad back. Hopefully, touch wood, we'll have most of the squad back, fully fit, and then let's just go. Okay, we'll soft reboot the season from January, and then start working towards next season instead. Forget about this season. If you can make up ground and get 5th place, if we can still get 5th place in the Champions League, then okay, good. If not, don't even get European football. Stay mid-table. And so you've got a full year, like Chelsea have now, a full season next season. The only thing you've got to worry about is domestic football. And you take it from there.
Yeah.
But the problem is the owners, obviously want Champions League football, don't they, for the dividends. This is the problem.
Alien, like I from Trinidad, bro. So for me, I always like, I know a little bit about the thing with the Glazers, and like even though I knew, like being from there, I used to still buy merch, you know what I mean? Because there's no other way I could really support the club. I mean, I couldn't go to games.
Exactly, that's it, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I could understand the international fan base, and I try to express that to some of my friends from the English part of the fan base, because it's like, you have the ability to go to games, you have the choice, and that choice is powerful, right?
Yeah.
But the international fans becoming wise, right? And they will follow that choice that you guys make, right? But sometimes it's like they see things slightly differently, and I would look at it from a perspective as I would like the girls to go away. But if they're not going to go, then here's what, right? Hire Paul Mitchell. Bring back Ralph Rangnick. Bring in like a brand new team of medical staff who are in the best and the new age way and systems of approach to medical. And then say, you know what, Ten Hag, this is I'm giving you this for 2 seasons. And you know, it's like and from that point for me, it's not about the Glazers at that point. Because if you give a manager everything, and let's just say the team start winning trophies, like a Man City thing. Like we started on winning trophies and playing. Who cares who the owners are?
Exactly.
You know, we care about as fans, we care about the football we go in and see. We want to win trophies. That's what we care about. And I really would, and I don't want to say it like that because, you know, I want them to go because I feel like after the years of what they've done and where they get the club from and where they took it now, like we just big in name now. It's a historical name we have, not a modern day big club. So it's like, I want them to go because of that. But if the structure changes around Ten Hag, no, I can't say to myself, I don't believe he will make a winning team out of United, because it would be disingenuous of me to say so. And a lot of the managers who are successful, and they quoted Ange earlier on, and like I watch a few Tottenham games, and Ange has a decent thing going on. You know, another good thing he have going on is that a lot of the managers and teams not his systems yet. So, you know, he going to also have that. And then, you know, a lot of the players on his field, like 7 of his starting players, will to be sold by Conte. So when people say, you know, look at how Ange did it, and I started to turn around and say to them, you know what, that kind of weird, because 7 of the starters from last season, they on the transfer list. Some of them has been sold already, and 7 of the players who was on the transfer list and on the bench, they are the starters this season, right? So it's like the argument to compare Ange to Ten Hag, kind of, for me, difficult, because although their sporting structure didn't prepare for Ange, they sort of indirectly prepared for him by not selling the players who were fit for his system last season and listening to Conte. So technically, he kind of get the situation with a little bit of a leg up in a way. You know what I mean? He just happened to inherit players that fit the system perfectly. He get 1 or 2 signings that was major. Son finally in his rightful position, because in my opinion, he's better at striker anyway. And people will say they sell the best player and then look at how well they're playing. But sometimes the best player, they suppress other talents on the team. Everybody complained about Ronaldo that season. Or Ronaldo, you know, he's getting old and blah, blah, blah. But look, Ronaldo left and the team attacking power didn't get better because we didn't have someone who was willing to take over the mantle. Now, Marcus Rashford inherited it. He scored 30 goals. You know what I mean? That's great. But the difference is with Tottenham and with us is that Tottenham have a player that took over the mantle of goals, but other players that are scoring goals as well. So it's like they had the whole new manager bounce, everyone buying into the system working with fit players. It's like, it's kind of like us after before Christmas last season. You know, everything that started to click, we started to do well, we went to run, you know. But this time, the manager really being ruthless, because as I could say, this last season, he was more put his arms around the players, you know, let's go, rub it back, blah, blah, blah. This season, he's more like, I'm not having that. It's either you're playing the way I want to play or you go, oh, that is a problem. So, is that give and take?
I mean, the thing is, Mark, a lot of people haven't picked up on this, but you know, when a couple of seasons ago, when they tried to do the Super League, Barcelona and Real Madrid never left it; they're still in it. What would have been the structure? Now they've took that to the European Court of Rights to get the Super League back going, and they're going to rule on the 21st of December once and for all. The European Court of Rights, or whether they can go ahead with the Super League. This is the reason why the Glazers have not sold, because they're waiting to see the outcome of that hearing. A lot of people don't know that. They haven't picked up on that. But the Glazers are looking at that because they know, like, if that gets passed, they know, Kaching, franchised football is exactly what they want. The Glazers can't get relegated. You're playing the best teams all the time, and the tills keep rolling. And
Yeah,
they don't
but you
even have
know,
to worry
again,
about being a good team. That's
isn't there
exactly
a
what they
law
want.
prevents English club? But in there, isn't there a law that prevent English clubs from doing that, from joining the Super League? I think the Super League that they're coming back with is only available to teams outside of England. At least that's what I read. I'm not too sure. And what I did read is that if that Super League happens, then
Yeah.
the Premier League will face pressure to increase the broadcasting payment, the value of the broadcasting rights that they pay to clubs.
Yeah.
Because then the Premier League clubs would be in a more powerful stature, since the Premier League is the most watched league in the world. So even if they start a Super League without English top clubs in it, I think it's going to compete with Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that make the Premier League even more worth watching, because the Premier League will still rival that Super League with the top clubs in it.
The thing is, Mark, like, I mean, you got to look at it from this viewpoint. I mean, football clubs are really powerful now, financially.
Yeah.
They're really, really powerful. You've got the Saudi League that's making a move. They're starting to pump untold fortunes into football. Has football overgrown the grassroots of football? Is it morphing into a different beast where the actual powerhouses are being held back by the lesser teams? This is what you have to look at, because you've got rich owners. Yeah, it's like you own something. You want to do what you want with what you own. At this moment in time, these big owners can't do what they really want because they're being held back by, I wouldn't say the word meaning it badly, but archaic rules are holding them back. And logically, eventually, the big clubs will break away. It's inevitable. What you're going to do with the big wealth, you're going to build a big stadium, you're going to build the best squad you can build, you're going to win all the trophies you can build. Where'd you go from there? Where'd you go from there? Your next step, logically, let's say Man City, for example. They've got the stadium, they've got the best squad, they've just won the treble. Where did it go now? From their owners' viewpoint is, we want to play Real Madrid and Barcelona and Juventus week in, week out. We don't want to play Aston Villa or Fulham. They're not big enough for us. And I think this is the threshold football is on. Eventually, you're going to see that breakaway. It's impossible to keep them together. The other side of the coin is, okay, you could let the big clubs break away, but the big clubs could still stay in the Premiership. Why? You could have two clubs. Manchester United Club A in the Super League, Manchester United Club B in the Premiership. Everyone's a winner. No one loses out. Big boys get what they want, and the football integrity stays the same to a degree.
I agree with what you're saying there, but one of the things that from what I read about it, one of the things that make the Premier League so famous is the jeopardy factor. So the most profitable factor about the Premier League is having the jeopardy. The fact that clubs fighting not to get relegated, the excitement is the whole exciting factor behind the football. And not only from the perspective of how, okay, this is another perspective, right? The perspective is that with the Super League, forget the clubs, England itself will face negative impacts in terms of their GDP when they see the top clubs, if the top clubs was to partake in it, because then the games would not play in the soil, means that they would lose revenue. Up to 60% of revenue could be lost. And 60% of revenue is such a huge impact, because the total profit, revenue from football in England alone is up to almost 20% of the national profit of the nation, the gross national profit, right? So if you lose 60% of that, you're losing economy, basically economy crashing there. The kind of unemployment. So I understand the Super League and how you know, the benefits to some of the owners and stuff. But I think this is one law that they might not get overruled, because when you look at the impact, the greater impact on the entire nation and the entire footballing pyramid, it could spiral into non-existency. And that's something that, you know, they have to protect. And the fans are important in that aspect, because technically at the end of the day, the fans are the one that have the key vote in tipping that scale. So what happened with the new Super League is that they're trying to sensitize it in such a way that they convince European fans, not just English fans, but European fans, that is a good idea. But you see, all European fans think like English fans. Remember, some of those countries don't make as much broadcasting money for teams as is teams from is one group of teams from one league that really push in the Super League, and that's the Spanish league. Because remember, they think their league is better than the English league, but they don't generate the viewers that the Premier League is generated, so they don't get the broadcasting right. They always complaining about that. So that is basically why it is that the Super League always rearing its head, because Barcelona broke. You know that they will get like what, 2 billion for entering that if the Super League happen, because they see it's like they want to compete with English clubs financially. You know, they don't want to wait to earn the money back because they spent badly. So like, I understand what you're saying, and it's something that fans need to pay attention to at the same time. But it have a lot of factors that go involved in if English teams will ever be allowed to participate. And that's due to the government.
But I mean,
thanks for joining me this morning.
I understand what you're saying, Mark. I really do. But again, I come back to what I say is the top clubs are that powerful. Yeah. It's like a boxer. Figure it is boxing. Yeah. You've got a middleweight trying to take on an heavyweight. Who's going to win? The heavyweight's going to win, isn't it? You know, unless a middleweight gets a lucky punch. You know, there's always that lucky punch. This is why I said maybe they could have two versions of the same team. Still keep Man United B in the Premiership, Man United A. If you look at the Spanish league, you've got Real Madrid B and Barcelona B are in their second division. This is their B teams, and they're that much good teams are in the Spain second division. And I think there's a law that stops them getting promoted if they win, because you can't have two of the same team in the same league.
Yeah, but it's like
they're good enough to get through, you know, to get promoted. So the blueprint is already there for that type of football. Saudi Arabia, they want 2 places within 3 seasons in the Champions League. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work, because Saudi Arabia is in the Middle East, not Europe or AO. And then apparently what I've heard is 2034, Saudi Arabia is going to get the World Cup.
Yeah, they're the only bidders for the World Cup.
You look at UEFA and you look at FIFA. What do, Mark? They follow the paper trail, don't they? They go for this. It's like, untapped market here, Saudi Arabian League.
Well, you see, the one thing I would say, Alien, is that what I heard, that they want to create a league, right, like the Super League. You see, they want to do it in such a process. You see, what's happening, right? At the end of the day, each league, even in Saudi, they would need grassroots, right? So like the problem with this concept of the Super League is that it don't foster grassroots. But
it doesn't
game of football, the whole concept of football, world football, is grassroots. You must always trickle back down to the end, right? So they don't want to go against that principle. So this version of the current Super League is not really, I can't really say it have anything to do with Saudi Arabia or Qatar or thing, right? Because they're now dealing with UEFA and FIFA to create a league that will see the top team, like almost all the leagues in the world, play each other, right? It's not like the Club World Cup, but it's more like a league. But it's like a knockout, so it's like a one game. It's like from the beginning. You win. If you don't win, you knock out immediately. You know, so it's not no or anything like that, right? So I understand. So like the concept of that is like yeah, you know, the Super League scares me, but when you think about that same concept of the World Cup 2034, and if I put that together with what the Saudis trying to do and what they're trying to do in Saudi,
Yeah.
is more they're trying to create something sustainable. And the football pyramid is sustainable, regardless of what anybody say. And no matter how
Yeah.
powerful the clubs get on top, the jeopardy factor is
Yeah.
where all the monies come from. Because that's why basketball and football and baseball in America don't earn like world football. They don't have the views. There's dealing
No.
100 millions. Football is dealing billions,
Yeah.
right?
It's
World
big
football
money.
dealing billions, right? You see, the most important factor in that is the journey. They like the underdog story. So the
Yeah.
fact that, you know, a team like what Leicester do came up and suddenly win the Premier League, these are the things that fans of football love. This is because,
Yeah.
and this is like
Oh, I
it was
entirely agree. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, but the problem with the Super League is that one of the things that concern the Saudis, right, is that, you know, they don't want to, they know, you know, they don't want to be anybody's enemy. They want to do something sustainable. It's like what they're
Yeah.
doing with the PGA golf. When they realized that their version of golf was kind of turning the PGA upside down, like, you know
Yeah.
what, let me merge, and let me merge under the conditions that we will provide the funding, you all will run the tournament, everybody will be happy,
Yeah.
all the players happy, everybody get what they want. So for me, when I look at them on that side, they're more honorable in the way they do things. So I would say, yeah, we worried about December 21st, but then look forward to what could happen when it actually work out into a proper plan that will benefit the football pyramid. Because
Yeah.
the Saudis and them is all about sustainability. There's not, you know what I mean? For me, it's more an American business model for franchise.
It
And
is. Yeah.
that
Franchise.
is and that is one thing we don't want in football. That
No,
franchise thing.
not really. No.
Because basketball, let's be real, alien. Like a lot of people don't really enjoy basketball as much as they used to. There's only a certain amount of teams. There's no
Yeah.
change. There's nothing
Yeah.
exciting. You know, they have to script basketball in a kind of way in order to make it exciting sometimes. They try to tell teams, you know, like probably lose.
The thing about franchise football, or any sport, Mark, is this: it's about getting the best players playing in the big games all the time. That's all it's about. And that means when you have the big names playing week in, week out, people will buy the merchandise because they've seen them. You look at World Cups where you've never had George Best playing in it, never had Ryan Giggs playing in it. These are shirt sellers, big names that never got a chance to play on the big stage simply because of the country they came from. They couldn't play in it. They didn't qualify. Yeah. So, like you
Exactly.
say, franchise basketball is about getting the best players on the court week in, week out. The kids see it. The kids don't know what franchise is. The kid just sees his
Exactly.
hero bouncing the ball, and then all of a sudden they're assimilated into that mindset of,
Yeah.
well, we don't care about relegation. I just want to see Kobe Bryant play every day. That's it. Like,
Yeah, you know
that's
what I
all I'm
mean?
interested in.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, it's very hard to stop that now in football, isn't it? I do agree with every point you said, that it will be very detrimental to football. But sometimes that's just the way life is. Things change, don't they, in life? Things evolve. What can you do?
Yeah.
It will be the death
Definitely.
of football as we know it. Will it be
Yeah.
the worst thing in football? Maybe, maybe not. It mightn't be. But if you get a Super League, yeah, let's say, for example, we get a Super League and you incorporate, the usual teams. Let's say there's two leagues. You could do it this way. Have two leagues of Super Leagues, a Division 1 and 2, where you can have relegation and promotion. Yeah. Think of
Yeah,
it that
and
way.
that you see that, and that this is why I was mentioning that to you, because I was
Yeah.
reading an article that some guy sent, one of my friends sent me. He's out in the least now. He's working oil and gas something. Like, he's an
Yeah.
engineer. So he was sending me this article. He translated, and then he was like, they're having this concept, and they want to have, like, the same amount of teams as the World Cup. Like
Yeah.
36 teams
That's it. Yeah.
or 48 teams or something like that. but they wanted to be teams from the top leagues around the world, so they go and try to measure a yardstick to, you know. So this is why this is why Saudi investing so heavily, because the plan is sometime before 2034 to have a league that features all the top clubs playing a knockout competition for a big money prize. So when I heard that, I was like, you know what? That will put a spoke in the Super League that they're talking about. Like, we hear what news going on about the Super League, but that song, and like, it will be a better idea. You know, might possibly get behind that. So
well, I mean,
that's just the bit.
You look at, like you're saying there, Mark, alluding to there about the World Cup. Yeah, the World Cup, you don't necessarily get, like I said before, you don't necessarily get the top players playing in that competition. You know, even like Holland, teams like that, Italy didn't qualify. Some top players there, you don't get to see them. You get Super Leagues, let's say 2 Super Leagues. You look at the following Boca Juniors has got. Look at the following River Plate's got. Look at the following Santos has got in Brazil. You see where I'm getting from this. All of a sudden, your Super Leagues are replacing World Cups because you're incorporating more teams into it with a more powerful fan base. It's changing the face of football, but they just want the money and they want all the best players playing at the same time. That's the goal. And I can literally see that happening. I really can.
I can see it too. I can see it too. Yeah. Thanks for joining me this morning, Alien. It was good to have you.
Yeah, no problem, my man. Nice to speak to you.
I'm trying to do this Inquisition show once every other week, probably. So if you're around,
no problem, man. Yeah,
you know, you can pop in again. It's just a bit of a dive in, you know, I give some news and then we talk about, you know, possible things that could be happening in around the club and in around football. You know, guys, everyone, thanks for joining us. Just take this time before you go. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Hit it and smash it. Get us up to 100 likes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And it's your friend, MarkN, MUFC fan. Alien Tenno, he just left. Thank you for coming, my bro. Thank you for joining me this morning. Everyone, do have a great day. Like, share, and subscribe. Bella,
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up by smashing that like.
Wow. All right, guys, later.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so yet. If you want to take it to the next level, you can always show your appreciation to sponsor our channel by clicking below the video title, where you will see the heart icon with the text saying, thanks. Or you could buy me a cheeky little coffee by scanning this barcode, or visit this link to buy me a virtual coffee. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. Remember, glory, glory, Man United, Glazers out. It is green and gold until we are announced and sold. That was all from me. I wish you a good day and a great match experience, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.